Honestly, Anthony, when all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and you agreed to do this mural job,
Yeah.
the sometimes the anxiety at night, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, what if this looks like a giant, like total mess
Wow.
when it's done? Because you're really going out on a limb. You're doing something that is highly original. You're really not copying anything.
So, Tony, tell me about how the Medford mural came about.
So last August of 2025, I got a phone call from a woman named Gabrielle Silk. She told me her and her husband owned a building in Medford on Main Street, and they wanted a mural that was kind of similar to the one in Yardley.
Hmm.
Who her mom lived in Yardley. She was there all the time and said they really admired the mural and wanted something similar in Medford.
Hmm.
So that's how the whole process started. And however, it turned out to be a lot more detailed than the one in Yardley.
Yeah.
So we just had meetings. There was a committee put together with town council members, the mayor, historical society in Medford, and some other citizens. And we met and we designed a mural. And we took it from there. We started in March, and then we were finished up in May. And it was a great experience. Everybody in Medford really enjoyed seeing it come together.
The Pennsbury one is more of like a postcard, old school postcard,
Right.
and then Ashland Distillery has the mules and like bringing it up, and then obviously the Bristol Stomp is the most iconic one,
Yeah.
with the town, our homage to hotel. How was that come about? You did that with who? Annie, right?
Annie Krasinski.
Annie and John Ennis. So who you did the mural with for the Bristol Stomp?
Well, that was Annie Krasinski.
Yeah.
She was one of my former students.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pull up
Ennis.
John Ennis
Yeah.
and Deanna Denicki.
Okay.
She was also a former student. She also works at Eatree, where Annie works on Mill Street,
Yeah.
and Leslie Cleach. They were the main ones for Bristol Stomp. But it was to celebrate the song "The Bristol Stomp,"
Mhm.
which was first played in Bristol.
The DeVels. I know. I
Yes,
know yeah, of course. Come on, we grew up on that. So
yeah.
that
Um,
was that was awesome.
so that was a great experience. We had to get scaffolding built 3 tiers high, and took us about a month. And it turned out really great. I was really happy with that one.
Was there any pressure when painting? I mean, Bristol, Bristol's tough. They'll let you know. And, obviously we have a lot of pride in our town. I mean, was there any pressure behind that?
Well, the only pressure I had was that I remember was they had a big dedication planned, and they had the date, and they were going to have live music with the Bristol Stomp with a Bristol Stomp contest, and
Oh,
they were going to
wow.
have an old car show, and they had the date already planned. So not
Hmm.
only did we have to get the mural done, but the scaffolding had to come down.
Yeah. It's
So
deadlines. Yeah.
yeah, so when you have a deadline with a mural that's outside, you're working through the weather. So unless it was pouring rain or it was below freezing, we were out there. That was the only pressure we had with that one. But luckily, we had it done for the deadline. Scaffolding came down, and the dedication went off without a hitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why do you think
I'm
Bucks?
sorry,
Yeah.
Bill Pezza. Bill
Yeah.
Pezza was the one that got that one all together.
Yeah.
He
That's
was the man.
Bill
That
Pezza
was his
runs
idea, and he gave me some preliminary ideas for what he wanted,
mhm.
and then I worked up a sketch,
Yeah.
and so
Why do you think Bucks County itself deserves art like this, the murals, and what makes it so special?
Bucks County, I think, is there's first of all there's so much art in Bucks County, and I think most people don't even realize how important Bucks County is and was and still is in the history of art. You could go back 100 years, and if you go to the Michener Museum in Doylestown, you'll see the Bucks County Impressionists. Who there's giant snowscapes that were painted by the Bucks County Impressionists. They did not work from photographs. They set up in the snow, and the paintings are just beautiful. And there's other very historic art areas, including New Hope, Peddler's Village, and that are just hubs for artists. And if you put that together with the beautiful landscapes that we have here in Bucks County in the fall, the farmlands, it's just a great place to create art. And I think the murals are actually starting to reflect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's a little bit of a put you on the spot. What do you think the next mural should be? Where do you think Bucks County, deserves the next mural to be? Projecting a little bit.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people want to see one in Marsville. Another one in Marsville. That keeps coming up for some reason. I think Marsville could use one. I think I get calls every once in a while from Newtown.
Yeah.
Newtown really doesn't have one, and I think Newtown. I think would be a great spot for some kind of mural. Warrington, reflecting their history.
Yeah.
So those are some of the areas that I think would be a great spot for a mural.
I think I could talk to my boss, and we can get a mural on the side of the building. We're on the bypass, so if I can, I'll commission it, put my face on it. No, I'm kidding. But we could definitely do it. It'd be right on three, on the bypass. But that'd be nice. I think it'd be more into the borough. I think that'd be a little bit better of a mural area. The history.
Yeah, that's great. Where you have the walking traffic.
Yeah.
And you can see the mural. People see the mural coming together every day. I think that's what Medford wanted. That the experience that Yardley had, where people ride by every day. They give you the thumbs up.
Oh yeah. And, I've done photo shoots right by the Yardley one, and get my coffee right there. So see it all the time. It's so iconic, and that's all part of it because of you. If the first one was bad, they wouldn't do more and more. They wouldn't keep line you up back to back to back. And your students be out of a job.
Honestly, Anthony, when all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and you agreed to do this mural job,
yeah.
Sometimes the anxiety at night, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, what if this looks like a giant, total mess?
Wow.
And it's done. Because you're really going out on a limb, you're doing something that is highly original. You're really not copying anything. And let me give you an example. The Ashland Distillery mural, which was 35 feet high by 35 feet wide. Okay?
It's amazing.
So I'm doing the job. I'm doing the sketches. And I could show you my original sketch in my small sketchbook. And I got the idea to have the canal towpath coming right out toward the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
The horses, I wanted them to make them look like they were walking right off of the wall.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the one horse's head is actually on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea visually how that was going to work. And the only way I could find out is if I actually did it.
Oh, you never did that before?
No.
Oh.
And so I'm like, what's going to happen if the horse's head looks like...
Yeah.
It's a giant, 20-foot high horse with the head that looks twisted.
Yeah.
But
no, if you stand for the parking lot across the street, you could see it. That's crazy. Yeah. Is that where you set up?
That's the first thing. The first thing everybody says to me when they talk about the Ashland Distillery mural is, I really like the way that horse's head looks like looks like the horses are coming off the building. So it worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And again, I like to do this at the end, as a little bit of, this or that. We'll get back to the podcast in just a second, but I just wanted to tell you about what I do. I've been a licensed realtor in Bucks County for the past 20 years. I serve Bucks County, Montgomery County, Philadelphia, New Jersey. all over the place. And I also have helped out hundreds of families buy, sell, and invest in real estate. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, don't hesitate to call me. Reach out, DM me, whatever you need to do, and let's start working together. All right, now we'll be back to the podcast. What's your favorite town? Bristol, Yardley. What in Bucks County?
I got to go with Bristol.
Yeah, of course. You'd be in trouble if you didn't.
Look, my wife drugged me out of Bristol Borough, kicking and screaming, 40 years ago. But I'm not too far. Every once in a while, I fly into Bristol. No,
nice. Do you have a clock tower like painted somewhere so that you know where?
I have two of the Grundy clock towers painted in my house.
Of course.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yep. I have one watercolor that I did and one watercolor that Joe Segola did.
Oh wow! See, Joe Segola, very famous. He's a very famous artist, guys. If you guys don't know that everyone has that little cement painting of Bristol with the Joe Segola on their house, which is another famous artist. Then you went into something with painting wise. Like, what's your favorite type of painting? Oil painting or?
Yeah, I love doing oil painting landscapes.
Okay.
I'm currently working on one now of the Rialto Bridge.
Okay.
In Venice.
Yeah.
That we were at. I just posted a picture in my story today of the progress of that one. And I'm really, when I'm not doing a mural, that's what I'm doing. I'm working small paintings.
Do you prefer a sketchbook, or do you do more of like a notebook type of thing, or just a sheet of paper? What do you prefer?
Well, I'll do sketches in my sketchbooks all the time, but I work on canvas.
Yeah,
oil paints on canvas. Yep.
Nice. What's one of the best advice you've ever received as an artist?
I think the best advice that I ever received that I give to my students all the time is to just be brave and be confident when you're painting. Because if lots of times students would call me over and say, "Oh, Mr. Knapp, like I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid." And I was saying, look, if you're afraid, your painting is going to look like you were afraid. So be brave, be confident. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
And so somehow I learned that advice. I can't tell you who told me, but that's what I would tell my students all the time.
Nice.
Don't make your painting look like you were scared.
Okay.
All you have to do is look at a Vincent van Gogh painting and see that he might have had a lot of personal problems, but he was not afraid when he painted.
No. I think that was his outlet,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you spent your life putting pieces of yourself into the other people through teaching, through art, and now through like these commissions into the communities. When somebody sees one of your murals like 20 years from now and all this stuff, what do you hope that they feel?
I hope, honestly, 20 years from now, I hope that people still walk by and actually just stop and say, wow, that was done by hand. That was painted. I could see the brush strokes. And I hope they appreciate, everything that went into that, not just from me, but what it took for the entire community to get that up on the wall. It just takes cooperation from so many people, from the design to the funding, to getting permission to do it, to agreeing on what they want on it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cooks in the soup when it comes to a mural.
Yeah.
So I just hope they appreciate all that and try to give other artists the opportunity to do it. Everybody loves murals.
Yeah. I mean, Philly is the biggest, the city with the most murals out of all the cities. And, and Bucks County's catching up because of you. I mean, Well, Philly
was a big inspiration for the murals that I did while I was a teacher at Pennsbury High School.
Yeah.
We did a lot of big murals. And, of course, the prom is hundreds of murals. So Philly was a big inspiration in that. Their mural program is just outstanding. Well, it was a show. Philly's a showpiece for murals.
Yeah. Well, there's Tony Napoli, Mr. Knapp, as many call it, a teacher, an artist, a storyteller. Whether he likes it or not, part of Bucks County history himself. You know, I mean, you know, you're part of it. You know, that's one thing I love about doing the podcast is that there's all these incredible stories, all these different people, and it's literally painted on the wall. And, you know, and Tony, thank you for coming on. Like, you know,
Well, I just want to say my father would be proud of me.
that's awesome.
But I also know your father must be proud of you.
Well, that was nice. Now you're going to make me cry on the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, you know, now I'm going to go home, watch Field of Dreams too, and, you know, cry even more. Thank you for that. But no, I mean, that's, you know, like, that is also a testament that, you know, that your father was a sign painter and that, you know, and I guess every father doesn't want them to follow in the footsteps, but like they kind of do. You know what I mean? You made it your own. Like, I know my father didn't want me to work retail and all that stuff. He was a natural salesman. He's a tailor. He's amazing. He did everything. I think he wanted me to do my own path, but at the same time, I still had a part of him in me. And the same thing with your father. Like, you know, he didn't want you to do the sign painting. He wanted you to do your own path, but still, you know, have a little bit on the side. And in this way, you ran with it. And that's just, you know, a testament. Like, you know, to me, like also like I don't want my boys doing real estate, but I want them to, you know, have that passion of that I have. And again, what your father had a passion for what he did, you know, all by hand. And then you put that on for everyone else by hand. And, you know, which is amazing. And I think that's the story that you have is such amazing. And I think, you know, more people need to know who the artist is, you know, and so guys, take a look at Tony's Instagram. Murals by Nap is on Instagram. You can follow him, and then, you know, contact him for his next commission, even though he needs a little bit of a break. He needs to go to Alaska. Yeah. You know, you got to go to Alaska. You could bring your sketchbook. You could paint everything, you know, and then you could do, you know, a mural out there. But, you know, you only get 50 days.
I said, that's on my wife and I's bucket list.
You got to do it. It's, you know, we'll talk about that later. I just got back, and I think you got to do it. That's definitely something you got to do. And again, bring the sketchbook, but, you know, again, take her out, and then, you know, and then you can move on to your next mural. And I cannot wait to see it. I know Bucks County cannot wait to see what you come up with next. So, Tony, thank you so much for coming on today.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks for joining the podcast today. If you want to hear more, click the link below and check out our other episodes. If you're looking to be on the podcast, feel free to reach out to me, DM me, whatever you need to do. I'd love to hear your voice. I'd love to share your stories. Have a good one.